Hey friends, Caleb Townsend here, co-founder of Factor. I am going to talk about getting noticed on LinkedIn. Recently we talked about having a good photo, a background photo, a tagline, a summary, and other tips on getting attention or getting people to take action once they see your profile. Now we're going to talk about ways to get noticed on LinkedIn so people go to your profile. LinkedIn has become a good content sharing platform and people are making connections. You really need to have the first step done before you take this step. And again, that first step is having your profile in order. So if you need to, go back and check out that presentation. The first thing to get noticed on LinkedIn is to post stuff. Pretty simple recommendation here, but pick a frequency that works for you, whether it be once a week, once a day, a couple times a week. Posting things causes you to stay top of mind with your network. People in your network can forget about you, but if you post things on LinkedIn, if you're periodically sharing things, people are going to remember you and think of you. In a little bit, we're going to talk about different things to post. Just a rule to live by is post things relevant to your audience. And we have this rule, the 631 rule. 6 posts should be things that you are posting in which you are educating your audience from other people's content. So these are other people's content that you're using to educate your audience. 3 posts should be your own created posts that you are sharing to educate your audience. And then lastly, if you do that, you've earned the right to post something sales related as a call to action. Again, 6 posts from other people's content, 3 posts of your content, and then lastly, 1 post that's a call to action where you're selling. The idea here is that if you're always just selling, you are kind of turning off your audience. But if you're always educating, you're attracting them like a magnet. And then you've earned that right to say, buy from me. This is what I do. There's also the EEE rule. Educate, entertain, and engage. Educate your audience on how to solve problems, whether you are the solution to that or not. And when you are the solution, try and show how they can solve their problem. But if it gets too technical, you're there to bail them out. Also want to be as entertaining as possible. Keep in mind who your audience is, and they're going to be entertained by different things than different audiences. So engineers find things entertaining more than, say salespeople or accountants or business owners or operations people. Think, what is my audience interested in, and look to entertain them. And then lastly, be engaging. Have ways to get people interested in and to engage them to not only click on your posts, but also read your posts all the way through. Here are some examples of posts that you could do to engage in your audience. We have 6 examples here. This first one is just project examples where this person is talking about a challenge that they've been tasked to solve and how they're going about it. Pictures are great too as well. This person's sharing an event that they're hosting. You also can post events that you are attending that you are not hosting. Events are a great thing to post on LinkedIn. Next, testimonials. File this a little bit under the selling 631 rule, but testimonials are great to share with your audience to talk about how you have helped your customers and clients. Next is inspirational things. Now let me be clear here. LinkedIn is not designed to be Facebook. LinkedIn is about business. You're going to see people post things about sports teams winning and family accomplishments, etc. A very small sample size is that is okay. I mean, it's good to get to know your business relationships on a personal level. But again, Facebook is the platform for that. This, however, kind of blurs that line a little bit. Dabo Swinney is the head coach of Clemson, and they're talking about how they use virtual reality in their football program. This person obviously does virtual reality. I thought that's a great way to tie in the sports world just to get interest. But again, it's all about virtual reality, and that's what they do. This is relevant to their audience. Next, personal development tips. Amy Torres here, who is in our Louisville Factor group, shared a book that she read recently or is reading and how she recommends it. Next, then we have interesting business articles. This is just an example of a post that's interesting to a variety of audiences, but make sure, again, that it fits your audience. Getting out of the presentation here for a second, this would be a good time to pause the video, what are some things that you guys have posted that have gotten traction? Now let's talk about who's viewed your profile. If you have a free profile, you can see who the most 5 recent views are. If you have a paid profile, you can see who's viewed your profile all within the last 90 days. Here's an example who's viewed my profile, but real quick, as a group, talk about what is your strategy as it relates to people viewing your profile if you have one. Everyone's going to have their own strategy, what they feel comfortable for this, and what results they get when they do carry it out. I'm going to suggest to reach out to these individuals. I have done this with success. As someone views my profile, I will send them a connection request and say, thanks for viewing my profile, let's connect. Now, I'm not saying, thanks for viewing my profile, you should buy from me. I'm saying, let's connect. And then occasionally, I'll even send a direct message after they connect saying, hey, Elias, I appreciate you connecting over LinkedIn. I first saw that you viewed my profile. Was there anything I can help you with? This just gives you an opportunity to engage with that person on what you do. By the way, if you want to browse anonymously, meaning when you're looking at other profiles, not have them see that you looked at their profile, the way to do that is go into settings, click on how others see your LinkedIn activity, and then select anonymous LinkedIn member. Now we're going to talk about feed activity. Feed activity is all the things you can do in the feed to show up other people's feed. And one of the tips that I've been given recently, and I've used and I've had success, is to tag your referral partners on your posts. To do this, you type in the @ symbol and then start typing out a name, such as Carl Berger. You type in @KARL, then Carl Berger will show up. Once you click on it, the @ sign goes away and it becomes a link to Carl Berger's profile. Doing this in your own created posts and also commenting is a way for you to get exposure, and it's also a way for that contacts, your referral partner, to get exposure as well. You can also like posts, and when you like and also when you comment on other posts, this will show up in your connections LinkedIn feed, where it will have things that will say your connection liked this, your connection commented on this, so you can engage. And that's a way people will find out about you. When people comment and like your posts, it'll show up in their connections feed who you're not connected to, and then hopefully that's a way to build relationships. Next, let's talk about what do you do when people want to connect with you. There's a lot of services out there where you can give them your ideal profile of people within a company that you like to connect with, whether it be the maintenance manager, the facility, the vice president of operations, the head engineer, the head of purchasing, or C-level. There are companies you can hire that will just send connection requests to those individuals from your LinkedIn account. This is happening quite frequently. When you get requests from people, very often it's not them, it's some third-party service. Take note of that. However, I think you want to have your own rule with who you accept to connect with. For me, I like to connect with anyone in manufacturing. I recommend to connect with anybody that's in your industry or any industry that you're interested in. Again, have your own rule. My follow-up from that is once they send me a connection request and I accept it, then I will send them a direct message saying, thanks for reaching out, how can I help? Here's a couple examples in which I've done that. This individual on the left is PLC Barn, which is a unique name for a person. It's actually, they set up an individual account with a business name as opposed to setting up a business profile on LinkedIn, which is what they should have done. However, they reached out to me, I sent them a note, and then we engaged in a phone call. Another person on the right, Kristen Young, I reached out to her and said that I lead a networking group I'd love to invite her to, and then she ended up coming to our meeting. This is a way to engage with people. Let's talk real quick within the group. What is your connection philosophy or your connection rule? And how have you guys used LinkedIn when people reach out to you? Good. Hopefully this gave you a couple tips on getting noticed on LinkedIn. Again, it's important to have a good profile first before you start doing a lot of this activity. Because if they go by your profile and it doesn't have a good tagline, it doesn't have a good summary, there's no way for them to get into contact with you, then it's going to be really tough for you to leverage the activity on LinkedIn. However, if you have a good profile and you're doing the activities on LinkedIn that allow you to show up in other people's feeds, then you should get results from it. Results, I meaning people who can buy what you sell. Hopefully you got a nugget or two. Have a great day. We'll see you at the next meeting.